And we are live. Hello, everyone. It's Will Middleton from LifterLMS. I'll be live here on any platform you see us, StreamYard, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, answering questions live for the next hour or so about LifterLMS, getting started, any of the tech stuff that we can help out with. I'm usually joined by my co-host, Kurt, but Kurt's traveling this week. And so, yeah, I'll be running the show on my own here, answering Facebook, YouTube comments, or anyone watching live. Feel free to drop a comment in the chat with any LifterLMS questions, and let us know where you're calling in from. I'm joining in today from Athens, Greece, at a new Airbnb here. Pretty tight space, but I'm on like the 6th floor, so it's pretty quiet up here, and I'm happy about that. But we already have a question rolling in, so I'll highlight that on screen, and we can just dive into it. So this question is, hi, Will. I'm on my second website, setting up with LMS. The first one was more simple and mainly used for taking prepayment with WooCommerce. This one, I want to sell a starter lesson, and once you complete the starter lesson, you can buy or unlock, if you've bought a package, for lessons 2 and 3. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's a great question from Martin to start us off, and then Nadia B is calling in from Los Angeles. That's awesome. So yeah, let me pull up my demo site here, and I could share my screen and talk a little bit about how we might be able to create this setup. Share a window, share this window, make sure my screen comes up. Awesome. So with selling a starter lesson and completing the starter lesson, you buy the other lessons. With LifterLMS, this is possible. It's a little bit more of a complex setup I'll walk you through, but it can be done with LifterLMS out of the box here. So let's get into that setup. So what I would do is go into one of my courses, and if I add a course, we'll just call this my intro course. Not really too important what I name it here. Let me just publish this so we can launch into the course builder. What I would do here is I have the 3 lessons, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. Save changes here. This is my course outline. I'll just call it like course outline for now. So we have the 3 lessons as you've described there, with the lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. And for lesson 1, what I would do here, this is going to be a little bit more of a complex setup, so feel free to let me know if you have any follow-up questions. But what I would do here in the WordPress block editor is I would add my lesson content, images, text, and videos, all via the WordPress blocks. And then what we can do is make a group of these blocks. So if I group these blocks, this will be my lesson content. And what I'll do is I'll say that these blocks would only be visible if you're enrolled in a certain membership. And the reason I would use memberships in this example is to have membership 1 gives you access to lesson 1, and then the full membership will give you access to the full course. So we'll create 2 memberships, and this makes it a little bit easier to control access within courses in Lifter, because if you sell access to a course, they're going to have access to that entire course, but you could use block visibility in memberships to kind of get around this. So we'll say lesson 1 access, just to keep it simple. This will be a lesson 1 access membership, and this will be, put an access plan on this. So maybe it's lesson 1 access. This is going to be $10 for access to lesson 1. Go ahead and save that. Awesome. So lesson 1 access. So then I'll jump back over to my course builder, right on lesson 1 here. I'm editing. I'll say that this group of blocks here, my lesson content, will only be displayed to enrolled users in, let's say, in all of the, or in any of the selected courses or memberships. And then I have my lesson 1 access. So you have to be enrolled in the lesson 1 access membership in order to view the content on this lesson. So I can't see any of the content because I'm not currently enrolled in that membership. But then what we can do is have a pricing table. If I go to lifterlms.com/docs/shortcodes, I can get a pricing table. So if someone were to view this page while they're not enrolled, I might put a pricing table block on here for product 1, 2, 3. So I would say put a shortcode block. The shortcode block would be the pricing table for product, my membership ID in my URL bar. Let me check if you can see that. And I see we have some great questions coming in the chat. I'll jump to those questions here in a few moments. In the URL bar, you can't see I have it highlighted, but it's 4200 in my screen share. Oh yeah, it is highlighting. Yeah, 4200. So that's what I put in my shortcode for this. So if I update and then view my lesson, this is our lesson 1 here. And so for lesson 1 access, I need to join this membership. And then if I'm actually enrolled as a student, let me change my view. If I'm enrolled as a student, I can see the lesson content. So it's a little bit of a tricky way to create this setup where we actually use block visibility. Oops, edit the lesson. And what we'll do is say that in order to view this group of content, the sales content, this is only going to be visible to non-enrolled users in my lesson 1 membership. So I'll have a membership. If you're not enrolled, you're going to see the pricing table, but if you are enrolled, you're going to see the content. And so let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that in the chat. You're not enrolled, you see the sales content to go buy this access to lesson 1, but if you are enrolled, you go ahead and see the lesson 1 content. And then for lessons 2 and 3, of course, we would say a similar thing. You'd have to be enrolled in, maybe I would do a full access membership. And then if you have the full access membership, you could access the content in lesson 1, the content in lesson 2, and the content in lesson 3, just the full course. Or I could just enroll you directly into the course. If you get the full access and you're allowed to view the entire course, we could just sell the access plan to the course directly. So like I have my lesson 1 here, this is sort of a preview where we can buy lesson 1, or maybe we could just buy full course access. Let me edit my course real quick. And I know I'm opening a lot of tabs here, but if I really like this setup, and maybe in the future there'll be a product in LifterLMS that makes it a little simpler to understand this. But I really like the membership feature. So if you want to do full access, that's $100. Save this. Full access. And this is going to be 4191 for my shortcode. So we'll do it. I'll duplicate my shortcode block on my lesson. 4191. So this is what's displayed to people who are not enrolled. View lesson. Oh, am I enrolled in this course? You as a visitor. Oh, I'm getting directed out. Let me edit my lesson and edit my block visibility. I think I might have messed up my group block visibility here. So group, oh, I didn't select any courses. If you are not enrolled in the lesson 1 access membership, and then I would do, or you are not enrolled in this course. What's this course called? I think I called it intro course. So this should work. If you're not enrolled in the intro course and you're not enrolled in the membership, you're going to see this block. Perfect. So I can either buy lesson 1 access or I can buy full access. And then once I buy one of those and I'm a student, I can see the actual content. Kind of an interesting way to create a setup using memberships and this block visibility feature inside of lessons. We had another question. I'm evaluating the possibility of buying an Infinity Bundle and taking advantage of the 1-year sale +1 that's active this week. This week, for anyone who doesn't know, if you buy an Infinity Bundle with LifterLMS, you get a free year added on. So basically 2 years for the price of 1. I would like to use that to create an agency, but I need clarification about the number of sites I can use with the bundle. Absolutely. So with the Infinity Bundle, you can use unlimited websites. Unlimited websites with the Infinity Bundle. So if you build sites for clients, if you run an agency, you'll have 1 license key, and you can add that license key to as many websites as you'd like. And then, of course, for people who, you're running an agency who have questions with their website, they'll come to you for that support. And of course, you can ask questions in LifterLMS, like to our support staff. But yeah, so unlimited websites with the license key for the Infinity Bundle. And there's a promotion this week that Chris is running for 2 years for the price of 1. And if you're an existing customer and you're seeing this, you can buy another Infinity subscription and send us an email. And what we'll do is we'll cancel the new one, and we'll add 2 years to your existing one if you're an existing customer and you want to take advantage of that offer. But yeah, for new customers who buy an Infinity bundle this week, at the end of the week, what we'll do is manually go through and see who bought an Infinity bundle this week, and then we'll just kick out the renewal an additional year, so 2 years for the price of one. Can you clarify how it works with support to be different if I'm an Infinity bundle customer? Yeah, so with LifterLMS support, we have an email support, help@lifterlms.com. Anybody can email help@lifterlms.com with questions about LifterLMS, and you end up in our support queue. And we also have, as a part of the Infinity bundle, though, a weekly office hours. That's actually happening 2 hours from now. It's 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's 11 p.m. my time here in Greece, but 1 p.m. Pacific time each week. Myself and Kurt from LifterLMS and Chris from LifterLMS joins us sometimes. We go live in the office hours only Facebook group for Infinity bundle customers, kind of an Infinity bundle customer only group. We go live answering questions in Zoom, so it's more of an interactive session where you can share your screen. We can talk about technical issues, strategy issues, just kind of general LMS mastermind stuff. And we have a lot of community members who jump in there. Usually it's a group of 6 to 10 people in addition to the Lifter team. And we're just talking through issues, and we get into a lot more third-party stuff. It's really whatever questions people come to the call with, we can talk about, but it's more of a mastermind. We talk about third-party products. We dive into like Groundhog and Elementor and more complex setups. And on these calls, we're talking mostly about LifterLMS out of the box, but we can even talk about more complex things there and some more detailed live support in that way. And then there's also been talks about, this isn't implemented yet, but adding like a priority tag in our email inbox to Infinity bundle customers, so they'll end up at the top of the queue. That's not been deployed yet, but it's something we've discussed and might be adding here short term for email support as well. So there's a few interesting items of support you get with the Infinity bundle. And you get access to the Facebook group, the Office Hours Facebook group. So it's like a separate Facebook group from our normal one where you can ask questions as well. And we're a little bit more responsive in there too. Just with less people in the queue, we jump into that group a little more often. So yeah, Martin asked a question or had a comment. It's making sense, thank you. So that's about this lesson setup. I really like the block visibility setup in LifterLMS, how we can do some fun things like that. If I get stuck, might I drop you a message? We can rewatch this video of today's chat. Yeah, so this video of today's chat will be on our YouTube channel. Let me pull up a link to that. YouTube, under the live section, I find it kind of hard to find the live section of the YouTube channels. I just noticed this recently. If I go in this tab to our YouTube channel, there's a live section right here, and this is where all of our past lives are. You can see our Q&A call from last week, and this will be the Q&A call from this week. Will be in the live section for a replay. I think StreamYard might also send out a replay. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but it's always on YouTube. I'm always on YouTube scrolling around, and I realize I haven't posted a lot of videos. You see, like Nadia's making some great tutorials, and then we redid the Quick Start course, and Chris makes a lot of videos, but I'm like, where are my lives on the YouTube channel? And I didn't know YouTube had this live section where myself and Kurt go live a lot. We do some live podcasting. It's a cool part of the YouTube channel for some longer form content. Oh, yeah, your second question about get stuck sending a message. Absolutely. So help@lifterlms.com. I always recommend emailing that with any questions. We also have a WordPress support forum. If you Google LifterLMS WordPress forum, our support team is in the WordPress forum and at help@lifterlms.com. We've got our email inbox and our public forum as our two main support items or areas for support. No problem. Happy to help. I love the block visibility and diving into how that all works. And if we have some airtime, some extra time here on the call, I'll talk a little bit more about some interesting block visibility setups. Mauricia asked another question. What does it mean that Infinity Bundle customers have access to support accounts for 3 users? So with a LifterLMS on the pricing page, I could probably pull that up too. LifterLMS.com/pricing. On the pricing page here, for anyone who doesn't know what we're referring to here, we have the unlimited support for 3 users is what we're taking a look at, and then the Universe bundles 2 users, and then Earth bundles for 1 user. So when you purchase LifterLMS at the Earth bundle level, you have access to our ticketing system. So anybody can email help@lifterlms.com, but we also have our ticketing system where you can submit a system report of your website in the backend of LifterLMS. Sometimes our team requests system reports or temporary admin logins for our team to go in and log in. And the ticketing system has a secure way to send an admin password and things like that. Rather than just sending it in an email, we have like a ticket system you can fill out. And it's usually useful for more kind of complex issues, for like maybe troubleshooting some kind of a conflict between maybe LifterLMS and a quiz tool, or today I answered a ticket about someone's student dashboard page looked all messed up and we needed to log in to figure out what was going on. It turns out that the student dashboard page and the course catalog page were pointed to the same page, and you want those to be 2 separate pages in WordPress. And so by logging in, we were able to quickly figure out what was going on and send them an email back about how to fix it. So the ticketing system is what you get access to with these support contacts. And so with 2 users and 3 users, you can add collaborators or support contacts. I don't really know what they're called, but it's just another email address you can add to your account. So if you have a virtual assistant, or you have a technical person helping you build out your websites, or if you're running an agency, you might have some developers who would need to submit support tickets. And so that's these users here. You can add your 2 developers in addition to yourself. It makes it a little bit easier to give someone else access to submit tickets on your behalf without giving them access to the billing part of your account. As the account owner, you can manage the billing, but then you can also add support contacts to your Lifter account. Then Nadia in chat asked the question, free version does not integrate with a payment gateway. Is that correct? For all courses free. So the LifterLMS core plugin has like a manual payment gateway option. So it's like if someone was paying with like check or some kind of offline payment. So yeah, there's not really an automatic option in LifterLMS at the moment for someone submitting a payment and then automatically being enrolled into a course. If I go to the checkout tab, I can show you what I mean here. At the bottom, move my window up. I have 3 payment gateways installed on this website, but the manual one is the only one in the free core plugin. So it's not like a super seamless setup in the free core plugin. Really having the Earth bundle or having those payment gateways is useful to have someone enter their credit card in Stripe and then automatically be enrolled into a course or membership. Stripe is my favorite one. PayPal can be a little bit difficult, just like working with PayPal as far as managing disputes and things like that. It's I've just found some challenges with PayPal. I provide like PayPal and Stripe, 2 options on a lot of my LMS websites, but I usually prefer just Stripe if I can. But the manual gateway is the only one in the free core plugin. And so what happens when somebody submits an order with the manual payment gateway, if I were to view as a visitor, if I view as a visitor, it's going to take me to enroll. But if I view any of my access plans and I do the manual payment gateway option, this is the one in the free plugin. What it'll do is, it says pay manually via check, because that's the text in the settings. You could add a PayPal address here. So you say like PayPal will at LifterLMS.com. Is that right? Your order total, and we'll approve your order. So this is kind of like the free way to get started, or like the budget way to get started would be to do something like this, where we tell customers, PayPal will LifterLMS.com and we'll approve your order, because it'll create an order in the back end of your website under orders. and you'll see that that order has been created, and then it'll say like pending, and then you can change it to completed, and they'll be enrolled in a course. So that's a way you can get started with a free LifterLMS plugin collecting payments, but it is really a big optimization, like you said, to have a payment gateway like PayPal or Stripe, because it just makes the whole process automatic. And you could try something like Automator WP. It's more of a complex setup, but you can have like a gravity form or a WP form or something, and say whenever somebody finishes or submits this form, enroll them, create them as a user on the website, and enroll them into a course with this Automator WP Forms tool. But I think I don't know if that would be paid to Automator WP. I'm trying to think of like a free way to do it automatically. Oh, Automator WP. I guess WooCommerce. Let me see the WooCommerce integration here. Automator WP is similar to Zapier. User purchases product. So yeah, you could do a little bit more of a complex setup with for free, where you would have WooCommerce, Automator WP, and LifterLMS, and you can say when somebody purchases a product in WooCommerce, enroll them in a course in Lifter. So there's a picture. I just had my hand on my face, like doing this like contemplative pose, and there's like a picture of me like 4 years ago doing the same thing. That's kind of funny. But LifterLMS, so you can say when somebody purchases this WooCommerce product, enroll them in a course as an action. So there is a free way to do an automatic enrollment setup, but it's a little bit finicky, and I always recommend using the Lifter setup out of the box just to make it a little bit simpler and a little more seamless. Can you explain what these are? Private areas and social learning. Yeah, so private areas is an add-on from LifterLMS. It's available as an individual add-on on our store. I don't know how to navigate the website. Here we go. In the store, you can find private areas somewhere. There it is. Private areas as an individual add-on, or it's included in the Infinity bundle, $240 per year. So it's like available as an individual add-on for $240 per year, or it is automatically included in the Infinity bundle if we scroll down to this massive pricing table. Private areas, somewhere on here. There it is. Private areas and social learning is the same, available as an individual add-on or is included in the Infinity bundle. And what these do on the back end of your website for private areas, it adds this private post option to your WordPress dashboard. And you can, as a site administrator, I can add private posts, and it's basically like direct messaging a student. If I could show it like an example of this, if I find a student that I want to direct message, like this person. So if I wanted to send this person a message to the course, this is your one-to-one instructor contact area, and they can kind of like comment back and forth. This person is enrolled in one course, so I got to figure out what course they're enrolled in. What course is this? Oh, money apps. Okay, yeah. Money apps course. So if I go to the private areas, I want to send it to a student in the money apps course, and then I select the student. That's the right student, right? Yeah. So I want to send this student a message. There's a red status if they open my message or not. Welcome to the course. Feel free to ask me questions here. And then enable discussion. I could just send them a message and then they can't respond, or I could enable discussion, and this would allow the user to comment back to me if I wanted to start like a chat with the student. Cool. So that's published. And then if I go to the user, I'm going to switch to the user. All right, so you get this new private post is ready for you. That's just what I just sent this person. So yeah, it says, welcome to the course. That's probably a bit of a long title that I put on there, but the student can comment back and say, hey, thanks. I had a question about that, that, that. And so it's kind of a way for the instructor and student to communicate with each other, and there's notifications about this. So if I switch back to the admin, and right now I just switched to the student, and now I switched back to the admin as a little bit of a shortcut so I can demonstrate this. But of course, it'd take longer for the student to receive the message and get a response back from them. But now that the student sent me a message back, I can see that here, and I can start a discussion with them. Private post is pretty cool for that. You can also set up automations in private areas. This would be an automatic welcome. So this is like the automatic welcome message. You might want to call it something other than automatic welcome message, but I'll just call it this, welcome to the course. Because what I just demonstrated was I manually, as an admin, sent that message. But if you want every student to automatically get a message, or even a series of messages, you could do that with the automations. So like, instead of having to go manually do this as a website admin, the student's going to sign up for my course because I have maybe an engagement here. So I'll say engagements, add new. This is my automatic welcome message. Whenever the student creates a new account, I want to start a private post automation. This is the one I made. And so I'm going to publish this. So now I've used the private areas plus the LifterLMS engagement system to create this automatic student welcome flow. So that way, if a student sends a message back, I'll still receive it as an admin and I can respond. But this way, I don't have to manually send the messages. They'll automatically get a welcome message. So those are the features of Lifter private areas. I don't think there's anything more in the settings, under settings integrations for private areas to talk about. Yeah, you can rename what it's called. Like like this could be like instructor chat or whatever. But yeah, so that's how private areas works. And then social learning, the second part of your question there, introduces some community features. And in LifterLMS, out of the box, there's this My Account page, the student dashboard, where students can view their courses, their achievements, their certificates and memberships and stuff. But then social learning adds a My Profile option where it's this page here. I can upload a cover photo. I could change my profile photo, and then it shows my achievements, and I could add a bio. I could add my links on social media, and then it shows a feed of what I've been doing on the website. So it says Arthur Wells enrolled in the Academy membership. You know, and people can just type on other people's timelines. It's kind of interesting to have the social learning set up, and users can also interact on a directory. There's a people directory that social learning has that displays users on the website. This is Tyshawn, the one I sent a private areas message to. You could say something about, great job on the quiz. It's a little bit more of a social environment. And unfortunately, you can't upload pictures or videos into social learning currently. There's some kind of complex stuff that goes on behind the scenes that our team was working on, but realized it was kind of a bigger project. So hopefully our integration with the company Download Monitor that's being worked on will help with uploading pictures and uploading videos to these areas. And the real challenge with social learning and uploading images or PDFs or any media is that social learning introduces these timelines for courses and memberships that you're enrolled in. I'm enrolled in a ton of them. So you can see on the left-hand side, I have so many courses, but usually users would only have like 2 or 3 courses. And so they can see timelines relevant to their course. They can see users who are enrolling into that course. They can see activity in that course, and they can discuss course items in this course specific timeline. And so if we added a feature to upload pictures to this timeline, and we store those pictures in the media library of WordPress, like in the back over here in media. The problem is that the media library is a public folder in WordPress. So if it's like a sensitive course material kind of website, and someone, maybe it's like a weight loss website or something, and people are in this social learning timeline uploading progress and pictures and things, and then those images are stored in the media library, that will then start to appear on Google search results for your website of, um, because these are publicly indexed files, these items here, in your media library. So it's important to be aware that things you put in the media library in WordPress are still going to be public. And you can use products like Yoast SEO has an option in their free plugin to disable media files from being indexed by search engines. And when I say indexed by search engines, it means that like when Google or Bing crawls your website, they can see URLs to all these images, and that's how you can get images ranking in like Google Images. But you don't want some images or PDFs, or here I have a lesson audio, for example. I was using this as like a lesson audio. I wouldn't want that showing up in Google for free because it's a part of my paid course or it's a part of this private access area. So you'd want to make sure those are no indexed so they're not showing up on search engines. And to take it a step further, the download monitor product is one I'm really excited for integrating with Lifter, because once we install something like Yoast, even though these images are no longer being indexed, they can still be shared. So if someone were to copy the URL to this picture, they could share this on a different website, and then that website would end up with the media index. So as far as all these privacy rules, that's why social learning doesn't currently support images, but hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping in the next like 6 months or so, it adds image support. But for now, it's just sort of a text timeline. You can put links in there. You could put links to other resources and pages. It's a great way to give your users support for courses. So if they have questions, they can ask the questions in a public channel with each other, and you can drop links to resources and lessons and pages, and people can kind of learn from what other people are asking. Kind of like in the forum here where we're doing like the pre-sales column, we got a bunch of people watching on different platforms who are learning from your question. It's like a similar kind of thing that you can do on your website, which is exciting. Martin asked a question here in chat. Last question regarding the big bundle. I'm going to go ahead with the Earth bundle, but if my customer likes it and wants to upgrade to the Infinity bundle, is it possible to get a discount? Absolutely. So jump back over to the pricing page. Yeah, so we have, you can email help@lifterlms.com and we can set you up with a prorated coupon based on your previous purchase. So, you know, if you buy the Earth bundle and then a couple weeks later, you want to go for the Infinity bundle, or at any time you want to go for the Infinity bundle, we can give you a discount for that purchase. And since we have so many individual add-ons and so many like bundles, we don't have like an automatic upgrade flow. You just send an email to help@lifterlms.com and a LifterLMS team member. It's mostly me. Will you know, just check out what you have already purchased and then create a custom coupon code that you can use for an upgrade. Oh, and Martin said, thank you. That's all for now. Thanks for this. No problem. We go live each week at the same time. So feel free to drop in if you have any other questions in the future. Mauricia asked a question. Are there the links to the lessons we put inside a course visible on the web as well? Images. No. So if you put any items within a lesson are going to be restricted. So if I go to courses and edit one of my courses and jump into like a lesson editor, the text and all the things like the text here is going to be restricted. Google can't index or even find these lessons content or content that's restricted by a membership, because when the bots crawl the website, they don't have access to these pages, so they don't know the contents of the page. Like everything on this page would be hidden. The challenge is, though, if I put like an image in here and I upload that image to my media library, like all this stuff I have here, this image would be publicly indexed. So what we need to do to fix that, it's just really a feature of knowing that the media library is a public folder. We would just want to install some way to no index media files. I don't know if there's a plugin that does just that. Yoast SEO is a big one. Okay, yeah, so Rank Math or Yoast can do this. It's always good to have a SEO plugin on your website anyway. So I always install Yoast SEO. Or if you're discouraging search engines from indexing your website, that's another thing. If you're creating like an internal website by chance, you could just go to, I think it's settings reading maybe. Yeah. So you could just discourage search engines from indexing your website at all, but that's only for internal websites. Some websites want to be indexed by Google, but then they also, I don't want to go through this configuration wizard, but they also want to restrict certain files. So if I go to Yoast, I go to tools, maybe. I'll have to poke around a little bit to find this. Settings, maybe. I just want to find the media. Here it is. Content types. Lessons. So lessons are automatically not indexed, but media pages. No, that's not it. Search appearance. Determine how your media pages should look in search engines. Show media pages in search results. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is off by default. So that's awesome. Yeah, it should be off by default. But sometimes I've seen people's websites where they have an SEO plugin and then they turn that, it looks like you have to have premium to use this, but I've seen a lot of sites that use Yoast SEO premium and then they have that box checked and then their lesson PDF starts showing up in Google and then they freak out. So yeah, you want to make sure this is turned off, and it looks like it's off by default. So I always recommend just having some kind of SEO plugin so you know the status of your media files and make sure that it's turned off for that. And you can turn it on certain media files. So if there are some public things you want to surface, you could go into your media library and check a box for those specifically, but then the default rule is that they're off unless they're turned on. So yeah, it's but it looks like it's off by default, which is awesome. No problem. Have you had any feedback about whether LifterLMS is fully accessible? I haven't used the accessibility tools that much. Like I know there are some awesome ones that you can use in WordPress that show you how the page structure comes together. As far as the front end of WordPress, it's all fully accessible, front end to Lifter. I think there were some like accessibility issues with the back end course builder. Like this, if you're someone building a website and you're using this course builder, I think in all transparency that this is something only you as an admin are going to be dealing with. But I'm pretty sure screen readers struggle to understand what's going on here. But on the front end, everything is good. But on the back end, it's a little bit complicated is something I've heard. But our developers do use the accessibility interface tools to read the page and make sure that everything kind of makes sense. So accessibility is getting a lot better, especially in the block editor. And our developers are conscious of it. So the back end, I think there's a couple of gray areas in the back end that are a little bit harder to navigate. But on the front end of your website, it'll be good to go. No problem. Thank you, Will. Yeah, no problem. Great to hear. We've had like a lot of questions, which is awesome. Sometimes we show up to the lives and then we don't have too many questions. So thank you all for coming and participating and dropping in questions. It looks like that's the end of the question queue. So I'll check out some YouTube comments and see if we've any questions there from the last week that I can answer as well. But feel free to drop any questions in the chat if you're checking us out live. Why can't I switch? I want to go to the YouTube studio. YouTube is making it a little harder for me to find the YouTube comments for Lifter. So I go to channel dashboard, then I switch to the LifterLMS team account. Sweet. Cool, and we had another question from Nadia in chat. Can you have multiple currencies? With LifterLMS out of the box, there's not an option for multiple currencies, but you can use WooCommerce. It sounds like for your setup, WooCommerce might be a tool you'd want to consider. So if we go to WooCommerce, add new, or plugins, add new, I've seen a few options for multi-currency. Yeah, so multi-currency, multilingual. And multi-currency would be doing multiple different currencies in the same website, like USD and euros in the same like website where the user could select which one. Usually multi-currency is not an issue because I've been like traveling around Europe and I'm using my US cards to pay for things, and it just charges the card in euros, and they handle that on the credit card end. But if there's ever a need for you to specifically charge in multiple currencies or display prices in multiple currencies, you'd want to use WooCommerce for that, because the whole multi-currency pricing thing is where, like, on the product page, they can see that this is going to be 100 USD, but it's going to be like 95 euros, and it's going to automatically update for you, so you don't have to, write in manually on the product the conversion rate. So that's really where multilingual, multi-currency comes into play. So you would need WooCommerce for that. Cool. Sweet. So I got into the back end of YouTube for the comments. We had a question about the, I'll put this question here on YouTube and then highlight it. This was a question on a video about our sales page feature of LifterLMS. The question was why it's not working for me. It seems to be a bug in the redirect option. So with the LifterLMS courses and memberships, you can set a sales page. And the sales page would be, if somebody tries to view the course and they're not enrolled, they can be redirected somewhere else. Each course and membership has this option. I clicked the drop down and then Yoast populated some stuff. Here it is. So I can redirect to a WordPress page, and I can select, I would make a sales page, but I would go into pages, add new, I would make a sales page, and then I would redirect the user over to that page. So if I go to pages, add new, I would probably put in a link to the, I have a bunch of tabs open, the purchase page. I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. So the link to the purchase page can be found on your course right here. So the purchase link, I'm just going to copy the link address. This will be my sales page for, it's called the intro course. So I'd put a button on here. It says buy now. Oh, I link a button at the top there. So this would be the publish this. And then, so now I can go to my, I'm going to reload my intro course, but now that I have a sales page created, I can redirect people to that sales page. So there we go, update. So now that I have a sales page created, the sales page is designated as the page for this course. So then if somebody were to try to view the course, they would get redirected over to the sales page, assuming they're not enrolled. And as a website admin, I have full permissions to do whatever I want. But since I switched over to viewing as a visitor there, on the course page in Lifter, you have this option to say viewing as myself, view as visitor, view as student. So I'll do view as visitor, and then you can see in the URL, it redirects me over to the sales page to buy it. So it seems to be working for me, that sales page feature. If I have a course, one for USA clients and one for Canadian clients, and the content is different for each, can we show the USA course to USA visitors and the Canadian course to Canadian visitors? I don't know how, I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. Sometimes what I've seen is people, it wouldn't be automatic, but people could, you'd have the two courses on your website in your course catalog or even on your sales page. Like if it was, like buy the US version, and then you could just have like buttons, duplicate my button, buy the Canadian version. So you could have like this sort of setup where this is where they split. When they go into your sales funnel on the sales page, they'll have the same content, but they could buy the US version or the Canadian version. And if you're using WooCommerce, you might be able to do something a little more intricate with that. But automatically, you might need something like maybe Google Analytics. I don't know if there's options in, or actually there are options in, I think it's Monster Insights in Google Analytics, where you can tell where the traffic is coming from, the country of origin, and then serve different content based on that country. It gets messed up by people who are using a VPN, because if I'm in Greece and I'm using a VPN, it could look like I'm coming from the US, Russia, anywhere I set my VPN to tell your website I'm coming from. It'll show me the destination as if I'm coming from there. But if you're not using a VPN and you're using like Monster Insights and Google Analytics, I think you can serve different content to different viewers. Because I know at LifterLMS we use Monster Insights, and we've run campaigns for, I think there was like an India only campaign for a while that Chris was running. So it was like Chris does a lot of interesting sales, and so he's got the this one's only going to be for people in India. That was like 3 years ago. So there is a way to do that. I think you'd need something like Monster Insights and Google Analytics, though. The content. Show that by region. There was a way to do that kind of thing where if people, it would be the same web page, but then it would have different content based on this, or pop-ups based on a region. Awesome. Oh yeah. When you do it this way, the VPN doesn't matter because the user is still making a selection in that case. You'd be surprised though how many people will. I have a client who sells courses in English and Spanish, and on the website it's very clearly stated like this: you can buy the English version or the Spanish version. And so many people who would prefer the Spanish version buy the English version, and then we have to like cancel their English one and enroll them in the Spanish one. It's like it's on the sales page like this. You can choose English or Spanish, and then they still have people come in the English one. They're like, oh, I didn't know you had Spanish. Could we do that one? But in that case, it's a different language completely. But that's kind of a cool feature. Absolutely. Thanks for joining, and feel free to hop on next week if you have any other questions. Let me see if we have any other YouTube comments. Oh, there's a comment. This is a good question, or it looks like a good question. I'll put it in the YouTube comments. Oh yeah, feel free to drop any tough questions. See if we can figure them out. In the meantime, there's this question on YouTube. I'm having a bit of trouble. I have a few mini courses. When I add a course outline widget, for example, to the course area, I have to select a course. I try this, and then the course outline appears. I don't know, really, I don't know if I fully understand that question. The LifterLMS short codes, I think I still have that up. Maybe not. Doc short codes, there's an outline short code Maybe that's what they're using. And in the outline shortcode, you can specify the course ID. The only reason you need the course ID, though, is if you're putting it on a page. If you're putting it on the course itself, you could just use this shortcode. You just put the bracket just right there and then just end it. But there's a couple of these options you can do. There's also probably the syllabus is the one I'd recommend using. LifterLMS syllabus. Let me go back to a course, show you how this works. So the syllabus option, I'll view the course and I'll also edit the course. Close some of these extra tabs. So on the view page, I already have a syllabus block here. If I open up my item, the course syllabus, but if we imagine that we're using Elementor or we're using Divi or something, we don't have these WordPress blocks to work with. So we would do a shortcode, we would do course, but we don't need the course ID. The course ID is 4191, but we don't need that because it's actually on the page itself. If you were to put it on a WordPress page or a blog post or a membership, why is it? It's telling me my thing needs to be updated. My page, I did it. Okay, cool. So the same content that the block displays is also displayed with that shortcode. So this user mentioned that they're having an issue with seeing multiple courses being displayed in that shortcode. I'm not sure exactly what would be causing that, but if you send in like a screenshot or an email to help@lifterlms.com, we could take a look at that. But usually what I just showed on screen is how that shortcode would work. Nadia asked a question. If I need people to sign up and then first get an email back and then click a link to agree to specific terms page before they can access the course, can I do that with Lifter? It depends on what the terms are for. I think the LifterLMS custom fields extension, so I guess LifterLMS out of the box, if we go to LifterLMS forms, in the back end here, the billing information is the one that's displayed on the checkout page, has certain fields like email address, password, first name, but there is also in the settings a terms box for accounts. LifterLMS settings accounts, there's a terms of service and privacy policy check mark. If you want to enable terms of service, you could do that. This would be a check mark they'd have to hit on checkout, but if it's required to be an email, or let me show this real quick about me. So we would select the terms page, and then we would go to a purchase link. Visit the purchase link, see if I can view this as a visitor. Is it going to do it? Yeah, so this is like I have to click the terms in order to check out. But if it does need to be an email, trying to think of how we would do that. You can do, so you could have a free course, like a free sign up that would, I would take a step back. I would use a tool like WP Forms or Gravity Forms or something like that to have like a generic contact form, and then a notification when they submit that contact form that says email the user with a link. So I wonder how we could do the checkbox though. I would do this. So I would have a plugins add new. Do I have a form? Oh, I have Ninja Forms. I have Ninja Forms already installed in this website. All the forms tools would work pretty much the same for this, but we would do a blank form, and then I haven't used this in a while. We basically need an email. and that's it. This would be required. And can I do text? How do I add more blocks? Bottom right. I just want to put text. Maybe this. HTML. Okay. Paragraph. So this would say, in order to sign up for the course, enter your email and we'll send you the sign up link. Something like this. Publish that. This is the sign up form. Publish that. And then if I leave the Ninja Form dashboard, I would go to my sales page. We made a sales page. This one. And so instead of a sales page, sign up, or maybe in addition to this page. So maybe the email would link to that page. Yeah, so we'll have sign up for course, and then we'll do the Ninja Form block. They have a block, but you could also do a short code. So this page would have the sign up form. It looks kind of strange in the back end here. But this would be the page we would direct people to. And then we would have this page be what is in the email. So I need to copy the URL. And then I need to put that in my Ninja Form, my sign up form. I'm going to mess with the settings of this. I want to do emails and actions. So how do I do? This would be an email that would go to, because I put an email field in my contact form. And this would say, thanks for your interest. Here's the sign up link, or here are the terms. Here's the sign up link. And then so people would get this email once I don't need these turned on. So just this email gets sent. The subject would not be Ninja Form submission. It would be like, here's your sign up link. Published. So when someone fills out this form, they'll receive the email with the link to sign up. And then, of course, you could add any other additional information in that email. And then there's also the terms and conditions check mark on checkout. So that's what I would do. And you could do WP forms, Ninja Forms, Formidable, Gravity. It's a pretty simple setup, so they'll all do this. So this would be like our sales page. Enter your email, and then once you enter your email and click move over to your email inbox. I could actually probably do this. Actually, I have an email log plugin on my website. So I would say test@test.com. My demo site I'm showing you here. What is this? Doesn't send emails. So I can't show you in this environment. Your action email has an invalid value. Oh, so maybe I messed up something in my Ninja Form. But hopefully that kind of makes sense about how that would work, that flow. I could keep trying to troubleshoot what I messed up over here. What did I just do? I want to edit this. I probably hit the trash can as the animation started. Oh. Reply to. Maybe that's what I messed up. Let's see here. Well, that reloads. Music. Test@test.com. Let's try that again. I didn't do a success message. I would probably want to do a redirect on my Ninja form as well, like the redirect. So this wasn't the page that people saw. But basically that email's been fired off. So let's check my email log. Test.test.com got an email. And then, yeah, there's the terms and there's the link to sign up. So then they would click the link and then they would land on the sales page. And if you have this like email log tool or something like this, it makes it a little bit easier to show that the email had been sent and all this kind of stuff. So this would not be a public page because the idea is that you have to fill out that form in order to get the link to the page. And then once you get the link to the page, you click sign up for the course, you agree to the terms again. And so there's no way for people to sign up without getting an email that talks about the terms. And then also there's a check mark they have to hit. So it's like, it makes it a little harder to sign up, but for regulations like HIPAA, sometimes they intentionally make it kind of hard for users to sign up so they at least know what they're doing. No problem. No problem. And so, yeah, wow, that was a fast hour. It looks like we're at about the top of the hour now, so I'll sign out for today's call. But anyone who's watching this call live or after the fact, check out the link we have on screen, lifterlms.com/try. That's a link to our $1 30-day demo site where you can get a copy of the same website that I was working on with all the LifterLMS tools configured so you can demo in an environment we host for you so you don't have to set anything up, all the Lifter tools. But yeah, my name is Will Middleton from LifterLMS. Let us know wherever you're seeing this live stream, any comments or questions you have, and we will see you again next week. Have a good weekend.